Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today's video is going to be about all the lessons that I've learned from being a pharmacy student. This video is all about how you're in pharmacy school for about 4 years. So I'm a final year pharmacy student, and I wanted to talk about all the lessons that I've learned throughout my years because I've matured. I've gone through the process of being 18, 19, 20, 21, and this year 22. And I just want to say, like, all the different things that I've learned to kind of mature and really grow the way that I deal with things, and how I kind of take it through like life with me, because I think that going through pharmacy school is a really big moment in one's life. So you should be able to pick up some lessons from it, and hopefully the lessons that I've learned you can learn a bit earlier than I actually did, and take them on with you, and hopefully give you a bit of insight into what you can really gain from pharmacy school. So, my first lesson I probably learned is do not compare yourself to your peers and the people that you work with, because it can really take a toll on like the way it can just lead you to overthink. I'm personally an overthinker. I stress a lot, and I think that I get a lot of FOMO. So when you see your peers like doing loads of work, or when you see them doing like not a lot of things, and see them going out and stuff like that, and you're sitting there still trying to figure out how to do a general mechanism, I just think just don't compare yourself to them, because like I used to do so much work, or I see myself that I do a lot of work, but I think a lot of people at uni probably think, how do I manage everything that I'm doing, and still do all right at uni, and how do I get everything managed? And people really don't see what you do behind closed doors in terms of revising, and just don't compare yourself to them because it will drive you insane. And just don't copy their work ethic. If you see your friends not doing anything, then if you know that you need to do something, do it. Don't change the way that you would do something just to adhere to other people, and because it can really throw you off. You are 18 years old, yes, you're learning, or 18 plus, you're learning how to like revise still and doing different techniques and experimenting, but you have to go on that journey yourself. So sometimes when my friends tell me I've done this and this and this, I'll have a go at it because I'm interested, but I just take things with a pinch of salt. Because you get those people at uni that you think that do absolutely nothing can then come out with like amazing grades, and you're like, you do get people with your friends, like, how did they pass this and I didn't? But you can't think like that, because it's just, it's not very like, some in my uni, I can't really speak for myself. You don't really know everyone, and everyone has their own little secret recipe that they don't tell everyone about. So just don't compare yourself to others and think that I'm behind or anything. You just know yourself and stick with your gut. This leads me on to my second point, is to stick with your gut. Don't go to that lecture if you don't want to go to that lecture and you know it's useless, or if you know it's not going to benefit you. Stick with your gut in the sense where, if you think that this this topic is not working for you, or this study technique is not working for you, don't try and try again. Try and just stick with what you know, and you know yourself best, and go with your gut that way. I think you people learn in different manners, and you're you don't have a clue in pharmacy school, so you're just more receptive to what other people are doing and trying to adhere to that. So just go with your gut instead, and it just saves you a lot of time, because once you get that strict regimen of what you know that you need, and it just will eliminate all these experimental tactics that you'll do to try and pass an exam, like I've done them, and it just doesn't work. And I've tried different approaches, and now I still know that I only learn a certain way. I know that certain lecturers as well, I don't learn from. Like, it gives you like reading lecturer slides type of vibes. So just don't go to the lecture, or a lot of the time I do go to the lecture, but to kind of like see if I miss anything, but then I will just do my own thing. So I'm still present and still don't feel guilty about missing something, but then I'm not really doing any of the work. I'm doing something that I think that I will benefit more from, and it will save me a lot of time. So it's just be confident yourself. I think the last 2 points, just being confident in yourself and just don't feel peer pressured to do anything. Next point I want to talk about is that it's sometimes not even that important. Like in pharmacy school, everything is made a big deal. Everything, your end of year exams, even the mini module test that is worth like 10%. I remember we had case presentations last year and it was such a big deal, and it was not even worth, as like you think, oh, it's worth so much. It's not. It's not a big deal. Like obviously take that with a pinch of salt, like do well and try hard. But like when everyone's making a big deal about things, it just causes you to overthink and stress, and you kind of just want to just stress and get everything done, but it's really not that important. I've had that sort of advice with the oral exam as well. Everyone's just revising and stressing and like ranking, and it's just like a minuscule, it's not even that deep. It's just not that deep. Everyone just makes a big deal about everything, and just don't, sometimes some things are just not important and to stress about. Next lesson is, it still fits along the same lines of like don't take notice of others. The reason why I keep reiterating this point is that the world of pharmacy is really small. You'll get to learn everyone in your course, even though you don't directly communicate with them, you'll know of them, and everyone kind of knows each other. I When you especially delve into the proper world of pharmacy as well, where you go to events and things like that, I know like some people three different ways, three different ways of three different committees, and I just think that you have to make sure you don't get peer pressured by it all, because you know all these people so many times. And the lesson that I've learned is you just need to not take what people think and say to heart. There was times in like the previous years where I just didn't go to lectures and or didn't really engage much, because you you could be going through things, and you just know that you're not going to learn something, and then you come in the next day and you feel like you sit next to your friends that to like everything. Like I have some friends that go to everything, and I'm just like, how? And I know sometimes in my head, I'm just like, they probably think and look at me and think, oh, she's not really engaging. How is she going to pass? But it's not their problem. You I know deep my limits deep down, that I need to concentrate and get my crap together at some point. And if you're not going to lectures and you really care what other people think, then that's their problem. And just take what everyone says with an grain of salt, because I just think it used to annoy me, and now I really don't care. You'll just realize like you just get on with it and do what you need to do, because those end of year exams are horrible, and you'll regret sitting in that lecture about how water is sterilized. That's that was like a bit close to home. It was about how water is pyrogen free, and you could have been revising about cardiovascular medications instead of wasting an hour about learning how you can clean water for sterilized. That was a lecture that I just couldn't be bothered with. But yeah, just don't care what other people think. If they go to all their lectures, good for them. If you don't, then as long as you meet the attendance requirement and you get what you need to get done, just do it, because it's so intense in pharmacy. You need a break, and if you can't wake up for a 9 a.m. lecture, then that's your problem. Because sometimes I cannot. Talked a lot about how peer pressure is a big thing in pharmacy school, but I'm going to do a bit of a shift and talk about the lessons I learned on placement. So, with placement, just make sure to utilize it. You are there, especially with the new course. When I did the good old days, when I did was in first year, I only did 4 days of community pharmacy placement, and that's it in the whole year. And then I did 8 weeks last year, and it just gets ramped up. And if you know that you're going to be there for so long, it's so boring to just sit and not engage. Just try and do something. And I know that you can get a bad pick with placement, as the community pharmacy that you get can absolutely be rubbish. And I've been there and done that. Just try and learn as much as you can. try and learn that computer system that they're learning just in case you want to go into a locum in. So think that way. If you know that you're bad at dispensing, offer to dispense, because I believe it or not, they'll be loving it if you were dispensing for them. Try and also learn the stuff behind the over the counter, because you can never learn OTC too much, and that will come up in the pre-reg exam and things like that. So think ahead, and it will come up your exams. If you know that you're not doing it this year, you'll need that knowledge in the future, definitely. And also get to know the people that you work on placement. I have a good old chat with the pharmacist and the pharmacy dispensers, and you learn so many things from them, and how to network, and you may meet these people in the future. A lot of the time on placement as well, I try and be as good and proactive as I can, and I'm pretty sure the last 3 times I've been on placement, I've been offered a job. So it comes in handy. So just don't be that annoying placement student that they know that you don't want to be on there. Just try as hard as you can and utilize it to your the best of your ability. And just just get everything that you need to get signed off, because I know that the amount of tasks you have doesn't coordinate to the amount of time that you have to spend there, but there's other things that you can do. So the next thing I want to talk about is networking. I do a lot of networking. If you had a look at my LinkedIn profile, you'd just be like, it's a lot going on. The two lessons I've learned from that, a lot of the time it isn't what you know, it is who you know. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Once you get into the big hemisphere of like networking, you meet a lot of the same people. You'll speak to a lot of the same people. You put in a good word in for other people. That's just the way that pharmacy works. You know a lot of people, they can refer you, and also even if they don't refer you, just getting the idea is just to work and meeting people and learning different ways in different sectors that you can get a job. It is who you know, and you have to network, because you just need to utilize all the skills that you have to really get that good job. And that leads me on to the thing where in pharmacy it's so diverse. Try everything and anything. Do not turn anything down unless you really don't want to. I have done hospital experience. I have done community pharmacy experience with my locuming. It's really hard to get GP experience. I've tried to email even to get a med reception job, but I I just knew I couldn't, because they always want full time. I really listened on my GP placement and I really liked it. I tried to get into health tech. I've looked at into health marketing because I do a lot of social media work. I do a lot of work with the BPSA, and I did competitions, and that involved a lot of external relations. And through the BPSA, I got put in the pharmaceutical journal. Sorry, so you get put in journals and publications. Through OSCE Toolbox, I'm looking at doing studies, and now with BPSA, you look into IPSF and running going to congresses, going to different events. So try everything and anything, because different things will lead you to different things. Like I'm going to be a BOPA intern this year as well. So I've always had a bit of an interest in oncology, and it's hard to get that pediatric oncology experience that I wanted to have a look at. So internships like that, you can get experience in anything and everything that you want to do. For me, it's about gaining the experience for what I want to do in the future. But there's a big thing that I don't know what I want to do into the future. And if you are so certain, you may come to a point where you want a career change. And for me, it's all about building up your options. You have to just have so much experience that it's come to the point where when you apply for a job, okay, I did this in the past, I'm going to specifically use this, and just networking that way, because then you've got so much experience that I want to get to a point where if I apply for a job, then there's a high chance and likelihood that I could get it. And that's come through the thing of just me trying everything and anything and advocating for pharmacy and talking to you guys and just trying to get more knowledge about things. I'm really big on networking, hence the point. So I'm doing like a webinar with a PDA for like networking. So if you see things on TikTok, if you see things on social media, and get on LinkedIn, start saving them and going to things. Like it's a real privilege, because some people just don't know how to get out their comfort zone. You've got to, or you're gonna get like swallowed in everything. Because I was having a conversation with Um, one of my friends, she's a pharmacy student, and we always talk about either pharmacy students will do everything and anything, and then you get those that don't do anything, and there's never a middle ground. So you'd rather be the person that does everything and everything, and you can say yes and say no to things, but I'm saying yes to everything that I can do, applying to everything that I can do, so you can go into a position where you can say and be picky about things that you want to do. So I'm really big on networking because it just helps your career prospects so much more and gives you those options. And try everything. Try, if you need that help, speak to someone, look for a mentor. Like, I've met, like I said, I met so many of my friends through different things. It's such a small world, and people will vouch for you because people in pharmacy, there's no animosity. Everyone kind of likes each other anyway. So get on LinkedIn. That's just like the big lesson that I've learned on LinkedIn. I've really like found loads of jobs on there. You get ideas from other people who have been posting things, or how did they get to that point? I want to do that as well. Let me have a look into that. And you just get within the circle. So that's like a lesson that I've learned. I think I've told you like 7 points, and I think my biggest take home point is just never say no, put yourself out there. I always say it, but it's like I've done it. I kept quiet for the first and second year, and third year I went full force, and I've just done so many things that I didn't think that I could do, and you could as well. Um, so yeah, if you have any more questions, again, comment them below. Any video suggestions, I've got a few going on, but also comment those below, and follow me on LinkedIn, and I'll follow you back and start building up that network. Bye.